Listen, everyone's going to ask you, so I'm just going to throw it out. What have you been doing? It's been a while.
I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous, but you know, it's hard to say really. Time flies, you know. It's like, it wasn't like we were ever saying, okay, we're going to spend 25 years in between albums. We never thought that. I mean, I did get, you know, I had a problem with cocaine for a few years, and that took care of some time, but been clean for a long time now. And you know, through getting some help, and then, you know, we always tried. We were trying for years. Oh, let's do some demos. Yeah, and we had some of these songs, and we record them, but it never seemed to work.
Right.
Nothing seemed to work until about 3 or 4 years ago, and all of a sudden, everything started to work. And if I knew exactly why that was, I'd bottle it and sell it, you know.
Right.
Not quite sure what made the difference. Although, I did go to this Ayurvedic, which is an ancient Indian medical practice. Went out to India.
Okay.
I had a lot of aches and pains in my body, and I just didn't seem to be able to do much. And they helped me bodily and mentally. And I think while I was there, I was sitting in this garden in India, in Kerala, for 5 weeks, and while I was there, I'd been messing with the thought, shall we do this, let's try. Nothing was working. While I was there, I thought, right, when I get back, I really want to record this album. That's what I really want to do. If I do nothing else, I want to record this album. So as soon as I got back, I was going to the manager, who'd been managing me and Dexys for like 6 or 7 years.
Right.
And he just told me recently that he thought we were actually never going to make another album. You know, he just thought it was like actually never going to happen. He was happy to be my friend. We were on our way to a soccer match together. And we used to go to football matches, and we'd have a coffee once a week, every few weeks, a meal, and we'd talk about this, and we'd make plans. But he said deep down he thought nothing was ever going to happen. Then one day, when I came back from India, we're on our way up to Manchester to watch his team, Man United, on the train, and he was talking about this, and all the time he was talking, I was thinking, I wish he'd shut up because I want to talk to him about booking some studios. So when he stopped talking for a second, there was a gap in the conversation. I said, listen, I really want to make this album now, book the studios. And he went, are you sure? I went, I'm sure. And he went, well, it's going to cost money, and it's going to be complicated. Just, let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it. And from then we never looked back.
Now let me ask you this, now that you have this in the can, and
Yep.
it just came out, so I'm
Yep.
going to be an asshole and ask you when the next one's going to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to kind of just sit for a little while and just enjoy this ride, get used to it again, and that sort of thing, or are you already planning a next album?
We sort of are, but you're right. It's not that you're an arsehole, but it's not that I just don't really like too much thinking about it, because
Yeah.
I am so happy with this. I don't know if we could make a better album than this. It was a long time in the planning, and I'm very much in this now, and especially the show. God willing, I don't know if we'll ever get a chance to bring it here, but God willing we will.
Yeah.
The show in England has been really well received. The album's got like a narrative to it, and we pretty much act out the songs on stage, and it's gone down great in England. But there's 10 of us in the band, so it's not easy to tour.
Right.
But you know, financially. But hopefully we'll get here. So really enjoying that, and I feel there's an awful lot more to go with this album. But tentatively, we have got some plans for another 2 albums.
I mean, I guess it could be worse because, like, you know, since you've been gone for a while, I mean, come on, Eileen, Gino, whatever, they've still been playing like as if they're new singles, it seems like.
Does Gino get played over here?
I've heard it a couple times,
Yeah,
but it's,
not
you
so
know,
much.
Sirius radio mostly.
Oh, right.
I mean, come on, Eileen is, you know, still, you can get top 40 stations still playing it around here.
Wow.
But Sirius digs a little deeper sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's nice. I mean, puts more pressure on you or less pressure on you for this album?
Well, I mean, in England...
Because you never went, what I'm trying to say is you never really went away for a lot of people. You know what I mean? The music's, well, the music kind of continued.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Yeah, I suppose some of it did.
Yeah.
I mean, in England it's quite different, and in
Right.
Europe it's quite different. We're, you know, I know we're in England, in America we're one-hit wonders, we're seen as
Exactly.
one-hit wonders.
Right.
But in England, in Europe it's not like that. You know, we had 3 albums, and they're all, 2 of them sold really well,
Right.
and all 3 are highly respected, you know. Especially the last one, actually, which kind of just came out very quietly here in 1985, called Don't Stand Me Down. And, you know, that was kind of retrospectively seen as the Dexys classic. And I think that took an awful lot out of me, making that.
Right.
And I think that that in some way was a millstone. And I was thinking subconsciously, until about 3 years ago, I didn't think that we could make another album that would be as good as that stuff, really. So that was subconscious. I didn't realise that until we finished this album. But that was, you know, we had many false starts. There was like studios booked, there was musicians booked, there was like talking to different producers, there was record companies ready to do the deal. There always seemed to be a reason, usually a drama, why it didn't happen. And it just never happened. And I was thinking it's everyone else's fault, you know what I mean? It was all that. And then suddenly everything did work. And I do think that was a factor.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something, you know, so, but I'm happy with it. I'm totally happy with it.
Now, everyone asks you, you know, I'm sure, and, you know, you mentioned One Hit Wonder with Come On Eileen, blah, blah, blah. Tell me something about the song that maybe you haven't shared with anybody. Because I'm sure everyone's like, oh...
Give you the exclusive.
Yeah, give me the exclusive. Because everyone's going to ask, you know, or everyone's already asked you, like, did you know it was going to be as big as it was? Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to ask you that question.
Okay. Well, the real truth. Okay, give you the real exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're fucking with me, right?
It was robots. Robots came down from. God came down from heaven. How about that?
I saw where you were going with that.
Huh?
I saw where you were going. I saw.
I don't think there's anything I can say that I haven't already said, really. But you know what? I am grateful for the money from it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for, you know what I mean? I'm grateful for the song that I wrote with Jim and Billy 30 years ago. I'm still getting money from it. Right. Amazing. And I'm also grateful that it's both. It's a bit of a millstone, and I'm grateful that we can come over here. And the reason, possibly, that it's easier for us people to want to talk to is because of that.
Yeah.
With the new album. At the same time, you know, the one-hit wonder status here isn't in America, but it's here.
Yeah.
Is hard to take, because I do feel we're a lot more than that, really, and there's just circumstances, just, you know. But you know what? Better be a one-hit wonder than a no-hit wonder.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably hard because you come in with a couple of new songs to do stuff, and someone just throws "Come On Eileen."
Well,
I kind of did it just to feel you out.
Oh,
but I said it before.
You're messing with me now. Eh?
I was like, maybe if I non-ask him, but ask him. No, I'm kidding.
God, you're clever.
Yeah.
You're too clever for me, man. I'm a simple musician.
No, I'm totally not clever.
All right.
I'm just a dick. No, I'm kidding. So, but in any event, it must be tough because, you know, people, especially here in the States, want to just hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, we didn't make an album for 26, 27 years. We didn't do any shows. We did a few shows in 2003, but it wasn't a greatest hits show. Mm-hmm. It was just, we did Come On Eileen in the UK in 2003. When we did this album, first album, 26 years, there was no way that we're going to come back, hey, remember us, folks? Yeah. Why? After waiting that long.
Right.
There was no way that we're going to go on 80s tours, package tours, and take the short money, you know, the easy money.
Right.
Initially easy, but long-term death for me. You know, I'd rather slip my wrists than...
Well, you become a novelty act that way.
Man, I just couldn't do it. Good luck to those guys. Better than going back to working in the factories or whatever, but I understand that. But not for me. I've been to a couple of those shows and watched, and it is depressing beyond belief for me. So what we did with this album, when we finished it, the manager said to me, look, why don't you just play the whole new album? I went, what? On the shows. He said, what? I said, what? I said, look, when I used to go and see Roxy Music, I don't want to hear a few new songs, but I didn't want to hear the whole album. He said, look, you haven't done an album for 26 years. Everybody there is going to be a fan and they're going to want to hear the new stuff. This is before the album came out. So we did like 4 shows. One of them was London, O2, Shepherd's Bush. And so we did it. And we had like 8 weeks rehearsal. During that time, we rehearsed it. Because the album's a narrative, and Madeline, girl singer in the band, the trained actress, we worked out all these moves. So basically it's a theatrical performance, the album. We're acting out the album on the stage as well as performing it, as well as playing it and singing it. We did all that in rehearsals, pretty much 8 weeks rehearsal. And then when we did it, we got a standing ovation everywhere we played. As soon as we finished the last note of the album, that's before we played any old songs, not one old song. We got a standing ovation in London. They wouldn't stop clapping at the standing ovation. I had to, in the end, start the next song while the applause was still going on. So that's how this album's been received there. And as a result of that, when we did the next tour, it worked so well. I said to the manager, look, we may as well just do the whole album. And now this album's turned into a show. It's like part show, part West End show, part gig, part soul review. One reviewer described it as, and that's about right.
Right.
So On these last shows in England, in Britain, we did 9 nights in the Duke of York Theatre in the West End. We didn't play Come On Eileen. That was a statement, and I think one of the reviewers mentioned it, but not in at all negatively. And you know, we got 5-star reviews, we got rave reviews, and that was a statement saying we're about now, we're not about the past. And that's why we changed the name from Dexys Midnight Runners to Dexys, to say it's us, but we're not the same.
Right.
And it's a hard call, not a hard call, but it's a hard path, but it's paid off for us. You know, it's paid off for us massively in Europe, but it's the right path for us, and it's harder here. And when we play here, God willing, if we do, we will play Come On Eileen because we have to.
Right.
But and we did initially in England, but there's now come a time when we don't have to, and that's fantastic.
Right.
And that's the path we're treading. And if it works for us here, great. And if it doesn't work for us here, okay. At least we haven't sold our asses, for want of a better expression.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Man, thanks, man.
Thanks.